Alex sat on the edge of his bed, tracing the grain of the wooden frame with his fingertips. Every morning he woke to an empty room that once echoed with laughter. His closest friend, Sam, had moved to another city for work. The change had felt sudden, leaving Alex with a hollow ache. He reached for his phone and stared at Sam's name in his contacts. He wanted to call, but the words stuck in his throat. He felt so far away and could not find the courage to connect. His heart ached with longing, and he wondered if Sam felt the same pull toward their old friendship. Each day, Alex walked the same route through the neighborhood park. He watched the sun break through the trees where he and Sam used to race along the winding paths. Now the benches they claimed at sunset seemed empty and cold. Birds sang their morning songs, but Alex heard only a distant whistle. He tried sending texts from his phone, but Sam's replies grew slower and shorter. The silence left Alex restless at night. He lay under his blanket, replaying every moment they had shared, hoping one small memory might light the way back to Sam's heart. Alex decided to write a letter by hand, gathered thick paper and a smooth pen, and began pouring his feelings onto the page. He wrote about how much he missed Sam's jokes, how he missed their shared dreams. He closed his eyes and wrote with hope, believing that something as simple as words on paper might bridge the miles. When he finished, he folded the letter carefully and tucked it into a painted envelope. He held it as if it were a fragile promise, wanted to send it right away, but fear gripped him once more. What if Sam threw it away? What if Sam did not care? But Alex reminded himself of human courage. He remembered the countless times people faced challenges and still reached out. He told himself that hope was a flame worth tending. Early the next morning, he walked to the post office. His steps felt heavy, but he kept going. Inside, he placed the letter among parcels bound for Sam's city. The clerk stamped it and slid it into the outgoing slot. Alex watched the mailbag close, feeling both relief and worry. He hoped the letter would reach Sam, that his words would remind his friend of their bond. In the days that followed, Alex's mind swung between fear and faith. He built new routines to manage the emptiness. He picked up drawing, sketching scenes he and Sam had imagined exploring together. With every pencil stroke, he sent a silent message of hope. He knew that humans could turn thoughts into action, that hope could move mountains. His sketches covered his desk-rolling hills, starry skies, distant cities. Each drawing was a small, bright offering to the future, a sign that he would not give up until Sam felt the warmth of their friendship again. 2 weeks passed. Alex watched the mail slot every day with fresh anxiety. He almost gave up hope when one morning a small envelope arrived for him. His name was written in Sam's bold, familiar handwriting. His heart pounded as he tugged the letter free. Inside, Sam wrote that the move had been harder than expected. Sam confessed loneliness and guilt for drifting away. At the end of the note was a simple line, "I miss you too." Alex let out a shaky laugh and a relieved sigh all at once. The words felt like sunlight melting the ice around his heart. That afternoon, Alex and Sam spoke on the phone for the first time in weeks. Their voices were shaky at first, but laughter returned with each shared memory. They spoke of plans to visit, of dreams still waiting to be drawn and lived. Alex felt the distance shrink with every word. He realized that human hope was not a blind wish, but a steadfast belief that connections could endure. He promised to visit Sam soon, and Sam promised to meet him halfway. Together, they sketched the path forward, guided by faith in each other. As evening fell, Alex stood by his window and watched the sky turn from blue to deep purple. He held Sam's letter close and smiled. Though the journey had been hard, he had found the way back to his friend. His heart brimmed with hope and pride in what humans could achieve when they refused to give up. In that quiet moment, Alex understood that even the greatest distance could be bridged by a simple act of courage and belief. And so, with hope lighting his way, he looked forward to tomorrow. Alex woke before dawn, the sky still deep blue and silent. He dressed quickly and slipped out of his small apartment. Today he would visit Sam's city for the first time since the move. His heart pounded with both excitement and nervousness. He clutched a folded map and the bus ticket in his pocket, a silent promise that he would bridge the distance between them. The bus station smelled of coffee and damp concrete. Alex found his seat by the window and watched the city lights fade as the engine rumbled to life. Outside, the world blurred into streaks of yellow and white. Alex closed his eyes and imagined holding Sam's hand, hearing Sam's laugh in person rather than through a screen. He reminded himself of human courage, that even long distances could be crossed with determination. After hours on the road, the bus hissed to a stop near Sam's neighborhood. Alex stepped onto the sidewalk, the air crisp and unfamiliar. Checked his phone. No new messages from Sam since the letter arrived. Doubt crept in. What if Sam had changed? What if the friendship he remembered was gone? Alex swallowed hard, folded the map, and started walking. Every step was heavy with hope and fear. The streets were lined with tall buildings of glass and steel. Alex paused to look at a cafe window where two strangers chatted over steaming mugs. He thought of the mornings he and Sam used to share hot chocolate and talk until noon. He missed those simple joys. Alex's feet carried him forward, each block bringing him closer to Sam's address. At last, he stood before a small blue door. The paint was chipped, but a bright sunflower wreath hung on its handle. Alex raised his hand to knock. His heart felt too big for his chest. He tapped 3 times. Silence. Then the door opened. Stood there in a soft sweater, eyes wide in surprise. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Sam's face broke into a smile that warmed Alex's worries away. Alex stepped inside. Sam led him to a tiny living room. Walls covered with photos of the new city. There were pictures of Sam alone, and some with new friends. Alex felt a pang. He knew Sam had built a life here, but he also knew there was space left for their old friendship. They sat on a small sofa, cups of tea steaming between them. Alex's hand shook as he handed Sam a small box. Sam opened it to find a leather-bound notebook. On its first page, Alex had written, "Our next adventure." Sam's eyes glistened. They both knew this notebook would hold stories of their rediscovered friendship. They talked for hours. Sam described the lonely nights after moving, the challenge of finding familiar faces, the comfort of Alex's letter when it arrived. Alex listened, his own heart beating with relief. Then he spoke of the journey here, the fear that Sam might not remember him, the hope that had pushed him forward. Sam reached out and squeezed Alex's hand. When the sky darkened outside, they bundled up in coats and stepped into the cool evening air. Alex pointed to a distant hill where city lights formed a glowing sea. "Let's go there," he said. Sam nodded, and they began to walk. Their footsteps echoed on the sidewalk, to friends side by side once more. The hill was quiet, save for the whisper of wind through tall grass. They climbed each step together, sharing jokes and memories. At the top, they reached a clearing overlooking the city. Lights blinked like stars. Alex looked at Sam and felt hope swell in his chest. Human hope was a living thing. He realized something that grew brighter when shared. They sat on a fallen log, shoulders touching. Sam pulled from a backpack too. Paper cups of hot cider. They drank slowly, savoring the warmth. Alex felt the final walls of distance crumble. He thought of how icily people could drift apart, but also how fiercely they could choose to come back together. Under the wide sky, Alex and Sam made plans. They sketched routes on the notebook's blank pages, trips to explore new forests, visits home with old friends, video calls when miles kept them apart. Each plan felt like a thread weaving their lives back into a single tapestry. As the night deepened, they headed back down the hill. The city lights guided their steps, bright and steady. Alex realized that the journey here had tested his courage and hope, and that those qualities had carried him across every mile. He felt proud of what humans could do when they refused to give up on someone they cared about. When they reached Sam's front door, they paused. Sam turned to Alex and wrapped him in a warm hug. "Thank you," Sam whispered. Alex squeezed back. "Thank you for waiting." Then Sam stepped inside, and Alex lingered for one more moment. looking at the path they had walked together. Alex felt the distance vanish, closed his eyes, and breathed deeply. Tomorrow would bring more challenges, new routines, busy days, and perhaps more moments of doubt. But for now, his heart was full of hope. He knew that no matter how far someone moved, the bond between friends could always be reignited by a single act of courage. And that truth, more than anything, made him believe in the strength of humanity. Alex woke the next morning with a quiet excitement in his chest. Yesterday's visit with Sam had gone better than he dared hope. Now he faced a new challenge, keeping their friendship alive across the miles. He dressed quickly and pulled the leather notebook from his bag. On the open page, he and Sam had drawn a line between their cities, with little cars and stars to mark where they would meet next. Alex touched the drawing with a smile. Human hope was not a single spark, but a promise that grew with each act of kindness. He brewed coffee and sat at his small desk. Sunlight slanted through the window and made dust motes dance. Alex thought of Sam's lonely nights after moving away. He hated that distance could feel so wide. He flipped through the notebook's blank pages and wrote a plan, weekly story exchange. He would write a short tale each week about something meaningful, a memory, or a dream and mail. It to Sam. In return, Sam would send back a drawing or note. It felt simple, but Alex believed in small human actions. They added up. He wrote the first story about the park bench where they learned to ride bikes as kids. After sealing the letter, Alex walked to the mailbox. The air was cool, and the world felt still. He imagined Sam finding the story among ordinary bills and smiling. Back home, Alex opened his laptop and set up a video call reminder for every Friday evening. He chose a background of the hilltop where they watched city lights last night. He tested the camera and smiled at his reflection. It felt strange to speak through a screen, but it also felt brave. Weeks passed with new routines. Every Monday, Alex dropped a story in the mail. He wrote about simple things, morning birdsong, the taste of fresh bread, the way the sunset turned rooftops gold. Each story carried his hope and his HFY spirit. Humans could make beauty from ordinary days and share it across any distance. On Fridays, he waited for Sam's call. Some nights the connection stuttered and froze. Other nights, Sam's face appeared in a bright square, and they laughed until Alex's sides ached. He heard how Sam's new city smelled of rain and metal, how the work there felt both exciting and lonely. Alex shared his own days drawing sketches of imagined worlds, walking in the park, trying new recipes. One morning, Alex received a large envelope. His heart leaped. Inside was Sam's first drawing, a scene of two figures on that same hilltop under a star-filled sky. Sam had written beneath it, "Our next adventure, the Milky Way." Alex held the paper close, felt warmth spread through him. Humans had crossed oceans long ago. They could cross emotional distances too, small acts of creativity and care. But one Friday, the video call did not happen. Alex waited by the laptop for an hour. He refreshed his phone. No message. He paced his room. His hope wavered. Tried calling Sam, but the call went to voicemail. Alex's heart sank. He sat on the floor and hugged his knees. He felt the empty ache return. Maybe Sam was too busy. Maybe Sam had made new friends and forgot him. He closed his eyes and took deep breaths. He reminded himself of human resilience. Even when hope felt fragile, people found new ways to reach out. Alex decided to write a phone message, something simple and real. He opened his laptop and typed, "Hey Sam, I miss you. I hope you're okay. I'd love to talk when you have time." He hesitated, then hit send. It felt like sending a tiny lifeboat across stormy seas. He would wait and trust that Sam would respond. The next morning, Alex found 3 text messages. Sam apologized. Work had overwhelmed them. They feared burdening Alex with complaints. Sam missed Alex and worried the distance was too great. Alex's heart beat faster. He typed back, "I understand. I miss you too. You can share anything with me," he added. "I'm here, always." He paused and then pressed send. That evening, Sam called. Their voice sounded tired but relieved. They spoke for hours, sharing both small and heavy thoughts. Sam confessed sadness at being far from home, guilt for moments spent alone, fear that life would pull them apart. Alex listened without judgment. He told Sam his own fears, the days he felt lost without hearing from Sam, the emptiness in the park when memories faded. He spoke honestly about his hope, how every letter and call was a bridge he built with care. Sam thanked him, voice quivering. By the end of the call, Alex felt hope's flame burn brighter than before. He realized that honest words were a human superpower. They could close gaps that miles created. He suggested they plan a midweek message check-in, just a quick "I'm thinking of you" text. Sam agreed. They promised to keep making time, no matter how small. In the following days, their new rhythm settled in. Alex found joy in knowing that every story he wrote would soon bring Sam a moment of light. Sam's drawings and messages filled Alex's notebook with color and life. Each page told a story of human kindness, creativity, and unwavering belief in friendship. One morning, Alex placed a fresh drawing from Sam in a frame beside his desk. It showed two figures walking hand in hand toward a sunrise. Alex smiled. He touched the glass and felt a surge of pride in what humans could do. Distance might stretch across maps, but hope and effort could shrink it to nothing. As Alex stood by his window that evening, he looked at the sky turning pink and gold. He thought of Sam, somewhere under the same sky. He whispered, "We'll always find a way." And in that moment, he knew that human hope was stronger than any distance. No matter how far someone moved away, Alex woke to the steady hum of rain on his window. The soft patter felt like a friend's gentle voice, reminding him that life continued even when he felt alone. He hugged his blanket close, thinking of Sam living far away in a city of bright lights and busy streets. A dull ache sat in Alex's chest. He longed to hear Sam's laughter in his ear, to share a warm meal across a small table. But every time he reached for his phone, he froze. He did not know how to bridge the miles again. He rose and went to his desk, where the leather notebook lay open. On its pages were stories and drawings, each a promise kept. But today, the blank space stared back at him, empty and waiting. Alex sighed, wanted to do something big, something to show Sam how much the friendship still meant, but he worried that grand gestures might feel forced. He knew simple actions held true power. Human hope, he believed, lived in small steps taken again and again. He turned his chair toward the shelf of books he and Sam had shared. He picked a worn volume of poems they once read aloud together. The pages were soft and the cover frayed, but every word rang with memory. He carried the book to his coat rack and slipped on a raincoat. Then, with a breath that tasted like courage, he grabbed an umbrella and stepped into the gray morning. Alex walked to the old telephone booth on the corner of his street. It had been years since anyone used it. The red paint was chipped, and raindrops clung to the glass. He opened the door and sat on the small bench, the book resting on his lap. He dialed Sam's city code from memory, his heart pounding. The line clicked, and a tinny voice answered, "Telephone booth in Greenfield. Local calls only." He swallowed and asked, "Can I connect to a long-distance call?" The voice replied that the time slots were open now. Alex fed coins into the slot, each clink echoing like a small drum. He held his breath as the dial tone returned. He pressed the numbers of Sam's telephone booth, and he listened to the rings. On the fifth ring, someone answered, "Hello." The voice was soft with surprise. "Alex?" He smiled at the sound. "Hi, Sam. It's me." For a moment, they said nothing. Then Sam's voice caught. "I didn't expect to hear you this way." Alex felt warmth bloom in his chest. He realized that this simple act, calling from a telephone booth, was a bridge made of coins and courage. He had found a new path to reach Sam. They talked for 20 minutes. Alex read a poem from the book, his voice steady over the static. He described the rain outside, the smell of wet pavement, and the loneliness that made him brave enough to make the call. Sam laughed when the line crackled, and at one point, Sam whispered that Alex's words felt like home. Alex paused, willing himself to take the next step. He said, "I want us to read together again. Let's pick a poem every week and read it the same way here on this call." Sam agreed with a quiet yes. When the time slot ended, the line clicked and fell silent. Alex closed his eyes, holding the rain's patter against the glass. He felt a surge of hope. He had reached out in a new way, one that only humans could invent, making connection in spite of distance and cold wires. Over the next days, Alex prepared for their weekly ritual. He visited used bookshops, collecting volumes of poems, short stories, and even travel journals. He left them in the telephone booth, where Sam could pick them up on the other end. Sam had agreed to do the same at a booth in their own neighborhood. Each book carried a note. "Read this with me next Friday." Alex walked in the rain too. The booth every morning, exchanging books with curious strangers who left him with smiles and encouraging nods. The act of carrying heavy pages in the drizzle reminded him of human persistence. Every droplet he felt was an echo of his effort to hope again. Friday evening arrived. Alex stood inside the booth, the rain tapping a steady rhythm overhead. He held a slim volume of sonnets in one hand and the umbrella in the other. He dropped a coin into the slot and dialed Sam's booth number. When Sam answered, they both laughed at the new phone relic turned treasure. They read lines together. "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?" Alex's voice cracked with feeling, and Sam's voice filled with warmth. Alex woke to the soft hum of his computer. Today, he planned something new. He had tried calls, letters, and shared books. Each act had closed the distance a little. Still, he felt a gap in his chest when he thought of Sam, alone in that busy city. He wanted one more way to reach across the miles away that would show Sam how much this friendship meant. He remembered the small drone kit he had bought months ago, drawn by the idea of seeing objects float on the breeze. I had never assembled. Its parts lay scattered on his desk. Now, Alex set the pieces out and began to work. His fingers were clumsy at first, but he breathed steadily, reminding himself that human hands could learn by trying again and again. He snapped propellers into place, wired the circuit board, and attached the tiny camera. When it was done, he held the drone up and smiled. It looked like a small hummingbird made of metal. Next, Alex wrote a message for Sam on a slip of light paper. He folded it into an origami crane. Sam had once said origami cranes could carry wishes. Inside the crane, he tucked a small USB drive with a short video of his favorite memories. Them laughing in the park, sharing hot cocoa, and watching fireworks light the night sky. He pressed send on one final file, a digital map showing a virtual path from his home to Sam's, marked with little stars at places they had dreamed of visiting together. Alex carried the crane and the drone to the rooftop of his building. The city lay beneath him in a patchwork of rooftops and trees. He placed the paper crane on the drone's payload hook and started the propellers with trembling fingers. The drone lifted, wobbling at first, then steadying as Alex guided it toward the edge of the roof. His heart pounded with excitement and fear. Would Sam ever see this gift? Would the drone find its way? He had planned carefully. He attached a GPS tracker and set the flight path to Sam's neighborhood's open park near a fountain. That park had a large oak tree, one he and Sam had marked on their map. The drone rose into the clear morning air, humming softly like a curious bird. Alex watched as it drifted over chimneys and sidewalks until it disappeared into the distance. For hours, Alex paced his apartment. He imagined Sam's surprise finding a hovering drone in the park, a paper crane dangling from its belly, and a video waiting on the USB drive. He knew Sam loved small wonders, and this was human ingenuity at its finest, using simple machines to bridge real space and emotion. He waited for news, biting his lip when his phone remained silent. Late that afternoon, Alex heard his phone beep. A message from Sam. "Meet me at our oak tree." Alex's breath caught. He raced to the park, heart hammering. When he arrived, he saw Sam crouched beneath the great oak, holding the origami crane and smiling up at the sky as the drone hovered above, its camera lens catching sunlight. Sam pressed a button on a small remote and brought the drone down, then opened the crane to retrieve the USB drive. Alex stood a few feet away, breathing hard. Sam looked up and gasped when their eyes met. "I can't believe you did this," Sam said, voice filled with wonder. Alex ran forward, and they hugged. The oak tree's leaves whispered above them. Sam held the crane close, their eyes bright. They moved to a bench beneath the tree. Sam plugged the USB drive into their phone and played the video. Laughter and a few tears shared the screen as old memories flickered to life. Sam turned to Alex. "This means more to me than I can say," they whispered. Alex felt hope blossom inside him. This act had shown Sam that distance could not weaken their bond. It had shown human spirit, making small machines, folding paper, into birds, sending memories across any length. In that moment, Alex understood that hope and creativity were powerful. They could fly on the wings of a drone or percolate in a simple crane. They spent the rest of the afternoon walking through the park, talking about new dreams. They planned a joint drone flight over a lake halfway between their homes. Sketched ideas in a small notebook Alex carried. Each idea felt like a new building block in their shared future. As the sun dipped low, they parted with a promise. No matter how far apart, they would find a way back to each other. Alex walked home under the pink sky, the weight in his chest gone. He knew that humans could turn sadness into action, distance into creativity. His heart felt light, carried on the wings of hope, just like that tiny metal hummingbird drifting toward a friend he loved. Asterisk, the sky outside was soft and gray. Alex sat by the window, watching raindrops race down the glass. The quiet room around him felt heavy. The couch where Sam used to sit was empty now. The music they once played together was silent. It had been weeks since Sam moved away again. Time for a long research project on another planet, one of the new human-colonized outposts in deep space. Communication was limited, and Alex hadn't heard from them in days. Alex missed Sam's voice, missed their long talks, silly jokes, and warm presence. He opened his messages and stared at the last one from Sam. "Talk soon. It might be a while. Stay strong, Alex." That was 5 days ago. There had been no replies since. The space signal relays sometimes broke, but not hearing anything made Alex feel like a string had snapped inside him. He got up and walked over to the shelf where he kept the model rockets. One of them had Sam 01 painted on its side, a small joke gift from Sam years ago. He picked it up and held it tightly. Sam had always believed in humanity's reach, how people could stretch across the stars with more than just ships. "We carry feelings just like we carry data," Sam once said. "Just have to find the right way to send them." Alex wiped his eyes and took a deep breath. He couldn't control the distance. He couldn't fix the signal. But maybe he could still send something. Something more than a message. Something real. He opened his old memory drive. Hundreds of files, photos, videos, audio clips from the past years. He began sorting through them, choosing the most meaningful moments. A birthday surprise in the rain, their first shared sunrise on a camping trip. Sam teaching him how to fix a broken music player, clipped the best ones and added captions. In his own handwriting, using a digital pen, he didn't stop there. He began recording a new message. His voice shook at first, but he kept going. "Hey Sam, it's me. I miss you. I don't know if this will reach you. I just wanted you to know I'm still here, still thinking of you, and still proud of everything you're doing out there. If you ever feel alone, I hope this reminds you of where your heart belongs." He finished the recording and saved the entire file as a small data package. Then he got an idea. In one of the community maker spaces nearby, they had a tiny weather balloon launch system. Mostly kids used it to send cameras into the sky. But what if he used it to send his message into orbit? Maybe, just maybe, it could connect to one of the outer relay satellites. Or maybe it would fail. But Alex knew something now. Humans didn't always act because they knew they'd succeed. They acted because they hoped. That night, he rode his bike to the community tech center. Rain fell. Softly as he arrived, with the help of the center's AI assistant, he loaded the drive into a protective case and attached it to the balloon rig. He typed a title onto the signal label, "To Sam from Earth, with love." As the balloon filled with helium, Alex looked up into the night sky, dotted with distant stars. Somewhere out there, Sam was looking at a different sky maybe. The same stars, maybe feeling just as far. He let go. The balloon rose gently, floating higher and higher until it vanished into the clouds. He stood there in the rain, soaked through, but warm inside. He didn't know if Sam would ever see the message, but he had sent it. That meant something. It meant everything. 3 days passed. No reply. Alex kept himself busy, writing, building, hoping. On the fourth morning, a faint beeping sound came from his wall terminal. He rushed over. A message had arrived delayed by space interference. It was from Sam. The screen blinked once, then played Sam's face. Their voice crackled, but, "Clear, Alex. I got it. I got your message. It found its way through a side satellite. I don't even know how. Your voice, your words, they pulled me out of a hard day. I needed that more than you'll ever know. I love you. I'll be home as soon as the mission ends. Promise." Alex sat down slowly, heart racing. It had done. Somehow, his message had traveled across space not through powerful signals, but through effort, hope, and human creativity. He smiled through tears. This was what it meant to be human. Not to give up when things felt far or broken, but to reach out anyway. The stars outside still shone. The sky was still wide. But now it didn't feel so lonely. Alex had found a way to touch the heart of someone he loved, even across the stars. And in that, he found peace. The sun rose slowly, casting golden light through Alex's window. It was a quiet morning, but inside Alex's heart, everything felt noisy. Thoughts of Sam filled his mind. Sam, who had now been gone for many months on a long-term mission, on another planet. Their last message had been 2 weeks ago. Since then, nothing. Not a sound, not a signal. Alex sat on the edge of his bed, holding the little leather notebook that had once been filled with shared plans, letters, and sketches between them. He flipped through the pages slowly, stopping at a page where Sam had drawn 2 hands reaching toward each other with the words, "We'll always find a way." His chest tightened. He had found ways to reconnect before, through letters, calls, even a drone flight. But this time, Alex felt truly lost. He walked to the window and stared out at the sky. The stars were not visible now, but he knew Sam was out there somewhere, maybe standing under the same kind of sky, thinking about him too. But the silence made him doubt. Was Sam okay? Had they forgotten? Or had the universe simply stretched the distance too far? Alex spent the next few days moving through life like a shadow. He worked, he cleaned, he even smiled when others spoke, but inside, the feeling of being disconnected stayed. He kept checking the message terminal every morning and every night. Still nothing. Then one afternoon, while sitting alone in the park, Alex noticed a young boy flying a handmade kite. The wind caught it, and it soared high into the sky, dancing above the trees. The boy ran in circles, laughing, chasing the wind. For a moment, Alex smiled too.
Oh, man.
That simple joy, the hope that a piece of cloth and string could fly so high, sparked something inside him. He whispered, "Maybe I can send something up too." That night, back in his apartment, Alex pulled out old boxes filled with tools, wires, and scraps from past projects. He found a working light drone, a few solar panels, and small memory drives. He remembered what Sam had once said during a late night. Talk. Humans aren't made to wait in silence. We're made to reach, to try, even when we're scared. Alex got to work. He built a lightweight beacon using parts from his old music player, adding a tiny speaker and lights that could blink in a signal pattern. Then he recorded a short message. "Sam, wherever you are, I miss you. I believe in us. If you can see this, if you can hear this, come back to me." He added music, one of their favorite songs, the soft melody they had danced to on New Year's Eve. Then, carefully, he mounted the beacon onto the drone. It wasn't designed for space, but maybe it could rise high enough to be picked up by an orbiting relay. Maybe that was enough. On the roof of his building, under the dark sky, Alex launched the drone. Its lights blinked like stars. Its speaker played the soft tune into the sky. Over and over again, his message repeated. And though he didn't know if it would ever reach Sam, he felt calm, because trying, that was what made people human. The days passed slowly again. Alex went back to work. He still checked the message board, still walked by the park. But this time, his heart didn't feel empty. It was full of quiet hope. like a candle flickering gently in the dark. Then, one morning, the alert came. Not a message, but a call. Alex froze. He clicked the screen. Sam's face appeared, blurry and tired, but smiling wide. "Alex," Sam said, voice shaking. "I saw it. I saw your drone from orbit. We were doing an external repair, and I spotted it blinking just above the outer cloud layer. I heard your message." Alex could barely speak. His throat was tight, eyes wet. "You heard it?" he whispered. Sam nodded. "I recorded the signal and traced it back. It guided me here. I'm okay. I'm coming home." They talked for hours about stars, work, memories, and everything in between. Sam explained how hard the days had been, how sometimes the silence had felt impossible. But seeing that blinking light in the sky, hearing Alex's voice, it had changed everything. Alex realized then that they were not alone. No matter the distance, no matter the silence, they could find each other again and again. That was humanity's gift, not strength or speed but heart. Weeks later, Alex stood at the same park where he had seen the boy with the kite. But this time, he wasn't alone. Sam stood beside him, their hand in his. They looked up at the sky, now filled with stars. And Alex whispered, "We always find a way." Sam squeezed his hand. "Yes, because we're human." And in that moment, surrounded by the quiet of the night and the steady light above, Alex knew they always would.